Hi, everyone. My name is Beth, and I am a family consultant with Accessibility Medcare. I have been working with Accessibility Medcare since 2015. I started as a technician, then became a team leader, and most recently, within the last year, I have become a family consultant, and I am a licensed social worker in the state of Maryland. So today I'm going to be talking to you all about goals, consistency, and cultural differences with our families and the students that we serve. So goals, what are they, right? Our goals assist each student to kind of achieve the specific objective that their treatment plan is geared toward. The goals integrate the students into a group setting, provide a community of acceptance where they can interact and grow with each other. We want to help maintain a fun and safe environment, help them learn communication, functional skills, cognitive development, and social skills. So a lot of our goals, you'll see when you're working with different students that a lot of our goals are very similar, and a lot of students have very similarly worded goals. And you'll see that some of the themes of the goals are what's listed here on the left. So almost everybody has a social skills goal, right? Almost everybody has a functional skills goal. Almost everybody has a safety goal, a positive behavior goal. And the ultimate goal of serving our students and our families through the program is to get our students out into the community working on skills that they can utilize when they age out of our program. So the autism waiver covers services up to age 21. And once our students turn 21, they age out of the program. They can apply for adult services, which may or may not be with our agency. But the ultimate goal is that we're setting our students up to be successful into adulthood and beyond. Consistency. Our students thrive on routine and consistency provided by JIT and technician management techniques. Students do not welcome surprises, nor do they like a management system that is disorganized. For autism, scheduling and consistency, or a lack thereof, could be the difference between success or failure for a child. When working with students, it's really important to respond to behaviors, particularly those negative behaviors, with consistency. So that way, the behavior is met with the same response and a clear message is communicated to the child. So if I throw my backpack on the floor every time I come to JIT because I don't want to use the bathroom, and nobody's telling me to pick it up. Some technicians do, some technicians don't. Some technicians let me go to the bathroom. Some technicians make me put my backpack away before I go to the bathroom. There's no clear, consistent message. And so, for somebody with autism, they're kind of confused, like, okay, well, if I throw my backpack on the floor with this technician, he'll take me to the bathroom. But this technician makes me put it up. But I don't know what the right thing to do is because there's all these different responses to the same behavior. So it's really important to communicate with your team leaders, take initiative, and ask, if you notice, hey, I've noticed that Bobby always does this, what's the best way to respond? How's everybody else responding? A lot of this information also is in the treatment plan because a lot of these problem behaviors are behaviors that the parents have observed for a while, that have been present in the child. And so the parents might already be responding in a certain way and just want the structure of the technicians to reinforce how they're responding, right? So to keep things consistent for our students is the best thing that we can do as service providers. For a child with autism, the world can feel like a very unpredictable place. So a lot of children with autism also have anxiety, and unpredictable then equates to frightening, right? When you don't know what's going on, when you don't know what's happening next, it can feel very uncertain, kind of how we all feel right now during this global pandemic. Nobody knows what's coming next. Nobody knows what's, the next headline is going to be. No, there's no structure. Things are not the same. That's how a lot of students with autism view the world on an everyday basis. Many of our children feel really anxious about change. This anxiety might not be obvious or clear. So, for example, a student most likely is not going to come out and say, I feel worried today because my mom didn't go to work and she usually goes to work every day. And now I'm worried because my routine is different. Most likely not going to say that. But that anxiety might manifest itself in another behavior, right? Such as crying, having a tantrum, being aggressive, because that's their way of processing this uncomfortable, unpredictable, scary change. They don't understand why it's happening. So understanding the reasons behind behavior can help promote more instances of positive behavior. A variety of techniques can be used to help address problem behaviors once we understand what the function of the behavior is and the trigger. So think about why somebody might be doing a certain action. What is the outcome that they're looking for, right? That's the function of the behavior. And then what is triggering the behavior? What's happening before that's causing this behavior to happen? So here's a really good example. Joe always forgets to bring a snack to JIT. He often comes to JIT very hungry, however, has limited verbal abilities. He's unable to identify that he's hungry and wants a snack, so instead, he tries to run toward the snack closet and pushes past several students in the process. Technicians use a passive barrier to stop Joe becoming aggressive toward others, however, he continues. When given visual choice cards, Joe is able to point to food. Once given some crackers, Joe immediately becomes much calmer. The technician notices that this seems to be a pattern for Joe. So, I'm going to annotate here. We can see in this example that the function of the behavior is he's often coming very hungry, right? So the function is to eat, right? I'm hungry, I need to get some food. So the problem behavior here is pushing past several students to go to the closet. That's the problem behavior. The trigger, right? It might not be very clearly stated here, but we can assume that the trigger was probably seeing other students eating, being around other students during snack time. So the consequence of it is, the technicians have used a passive barrier to stop him becoming aggressive. So the way that this technician intervened was, okay, let's figure out why Joe is doing this and give him some choice cards to let us know. Then Joe identifies food, that's what I want. Once he's given the crackers, he calms down. So the technician notices, okay, this is a pattern, right? Maybe we need to intervene before Joe gets upset to help this behavior. So what do you think technician did? As a preventative strategy, Joe's technician reached out to Dr. Rowe and asked if JIT could provide a snack for Joe since the aggression seemed to be tied to hunger, right? Taking initiative. Like we said on the previous slide, the function of the behavior is to obtain a desired object, which is food. The trigger is seeing other students eating a snack and also wanting one. So a lot of the times, the function of the behavior can be put into one of three categories: to obtain a desired object or access to a desired object, to avoid participating in something, sensory stimulation, right? So it's avoid, escape, obtain, or another sensory type of trigger, right? Like, so say the function is like the lights are too bright in here and I need to escape this sensory input. So usually there's kind of one of those three categories that behavior function falls into. So the way that we collect data on behavior is through the ABC model, which is antecedent, what led up to it, the behavior, what did the child do, and the consequence, what did you do? And this is a very good concrete way to write incident reports because it allows the family consultants and the people who write the treatment plans to look at these incidences and kind of draw broad conclusions based on these smaller instances that kind of add up and give clues on, certain behaviors. So remember this ABC format when you're writing a incident report so that, when we're reading them, we can see, okay, what happened before, what was the behavior, and then how did the technician respond? So we can see whether there might be some clues in certain responses might have a better outcome, right? Certain triggers might indicate a different behavior. So it's really important to remember this ABC data collection. My last topic is cultural differences. So our Accessibility Medcare family is very diverse, right? We have families with various cultural backgrounds and practices from all over the world. We've had a few international days, and we have had so many countries represented, which is, amazing that our AMC family is just made up of this really rich cultural background, which is amazing. But it's important to remember that cultural differences may, present themselves. Family might have different techniques. It's really important that you respect them without straying from your duties. Some families are more chill. Some families are a little more strict. Just like every student is different, every family is different. So it kind of takes a little bit of, practice, getting to figure out certain families, you need to communicate with them in a certain way. Certain families might need to back off a little more. Some families, might be more laid back, might, be fine with you texting them, every day. Some families, that's maybe a little bit too much for them. So it's important to recognize these differences with your families and provide the appropriate care, right? Interact with people in a way that feels very respectful, try not to step on their toes, right? So if, for example, you're working in the home and you notice everyone in the home has their shoes off, okay, you should probably also take your shoes off. Just remember tolerance, patience, and love, right? Speak with a team leader, family consultant, Erica, or Dr. Rowe if you have any concerns. And if you have any questions, because this is something that as direct care professionals is an emerging topic in the field of social work. It's called cultural competence, and it's something that is being paid a lot of attention to right now. It's helping people become more culturally competent. So being more aware of other people's cultural differences and how to respond to those in a culturally sensitive manner. So this is something that people are continually growing and learning about. And, you might not be so culturally competent now, and a few months from now you might have grown in your cultural competence, because that's part of life, is growing and learning different skills as you get to meet and interact with new people. So that wraps up my portion. Please feel free, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. My email's on the screen. If you have any feedback about my section, you can send it to accessibilitymedcare2@gmail.com. When you're done with this session, make sure you check off on your list of training for goals, consistency, and cultural differences. That's the name of my section. And just a quick reminder, you have to submit the completed checklist to Erica at emoy.amc@gmail.com. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day.